Kicked out at 17, now they want to move into my mansion. When I was 17, my life changed in a way I never saw coming. It didn't happen in some dramatic movie moment. No shouting match, no suitcase thrown on the lawn. It was quiet, cold, and final. I told my parents I didn't want to go to med school. They had dreams, no, expectations, that I'd become a doctor, just like my father. It wasn't just a career to them, it was legacy, pride, family tradition. And me? I wanted to break that chain. I loved art, stories, film. I was drawn to the way people express themselves, through music, through videos, through moments captured online. I wanted to create something of my own. My parents didn't understand. They didn't try to understand. Instead, my father said, "If you're not going to live by our rules, you're not going to live in our house." And just like that, I was out. They didn't help me pack. They didn't give me a safety net. They didn't even check in to see where I went that first night. I slept in my friend Jake's basement for the first week. Then his mom said I had to go. So I went. Couch after couch. Floor after floor. I worked part-time cleaning offices during the night and flipped pancakes at a diner in the morning. But during the small, quiet hours, I created. I taught myself how to edit videos, how to write scripts, how to build an audience online. I had a beat-up laptop with a cracked screen and $38 in my bank account. But I had time, passion, and a hunger that didn't come from lack of food. Years passed. At 22, I was making enough to rent my own place. At 25, I hit my first 1,000,000 views. At 27, I started my own digital agency, helping brands tell their stories the way I learned to tell mine. And by 30, I was rich. Like, house on a hill, car you don't need, vacation, whenever rich. But more than that, I was respected. I built everything myself, from the dirt. Then one afternoon, my assistant forwarded me an email. Subject, from Mom. It stopped me cold. I hadn't heard from them in over a decade. The message was short, polite, almost professional. She said they were moving back into the city. Times were tough. They had sold the family house and were looking for somewhere to stay, while they got back on their feet. Then came the line that hit hardest. "We saw online that you have a big place now. Maybe we could stay with you for a while?" I sat there staring at that sentence, rereading it, again and again. It wasn't anger I felt. It was something colder, something heavier. Where was this warmth when I was 17 and freezing on a park bench? Where was this concern when I was working 20-hour shifts just to keep the lights on? Where was this family when I needed it the most? But I said yes to a meeting. We met at a neutral cafe downtown. My dad looked older. My mom wore a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. They told me they were proud of me, that they always knew I'd figure things out. I asked them plainly, "Do you regret kicking me out?" They looked at each other, then back at me. My dad shrugged. "We thought it was for your own good. You were being difficult. You needed structure." I nodded. Not in agreement, but in understanding. I finally saw it clearly. They hadn't changed. They didn't want reconciliation. They wanted a room. I told them I would help. I offered to pay for 6 months of rent in an apartment nearby, help them settle, get back on their feet. But they wouldn't be moving in with me. Silence. Then, the same man who told me to leave his house 17 years ago said, "So you'd rather throw money at us than let us live with our own son?" I looked him in the eye and said, "I'd rather protect my peace than repeat history." They left that cafe with forced smiles and stiff goodbyes. We haven't spoken since. But I think about them, not out of spite, but out of clarity. Because success doesn't erase pain. It doesn't fix the past. And it doesn't buy back love that was never freely given. I built a life. And when they came knocking, I didn't slam the door in their face, but I didn't open it either. Because sometimes, the hardest part of healing is realizing that forgiveness doesn't always mean reunion, and closure doesn't always come with hugs. Sometimes, it just comes with peace.